Welcome back to Easy to Spell, where the name's Easy to Spell, and we messed it up anyway. For those of you wondering why we've got the two L's in Dispel, we know. Thank you very much. Uh, I want to start things out, as always, huge thank you to Syrinscape, because Epic games need epic sound, and all of the background music, ambient noise, everything that we do is through Syrinscape. I absolutely love them. Bring them into your home game. It makes a world of difference. If you've been with us through the beginning, you know going from episode 1 and 2, I think, into episode 3 is when we brought him in. It changes the game
Yeah.
entirely, how it feels, how it plays, everything. Um, Also, like, comment, subscribe. It helps us out. We're trying to grow. We're doing everything we can. Hopefully, if this is, you're just joining us now, that's maybe you saw us in Rep RPG's current PvP league. Uh, we we just had our first match, which we won, and then Mike, you can edit this, which we unfortunately lost. Just get that in post, whatever it is we can do there.
Got it.
I I think for other announcement, Rachel, you had something you wanted to talk about.
We have merch. We'll have a link down below to Teespring, to our store. We have sweatshirts, t-shirts, awesome mugs, stickers, and if there's anything else y'all want, comment below and I'll get it up on there.
Awesome. And then I think final thing, David, you had to thank you that you wanted to.
Right, so I just wanted to throw a thank you out there for the beautiful character art we got from D&D Icons. You can find him over on Instagram at DND_icons, Patreon at DND Icons, and artstation.com/JTaro. I believe you can also find him on Facebook under D&D Icons.
It's amazing stuff.
Yeah, I love having like actual artwork, being able to see your characters. It's been pretty great. We have been really happy doing announcements and stuff like that, which if you're binge watching currently and rolling in from last episode is probably going to be a little weird. So our last episode, still in the city of Falx, which had been overtaken by what I've been calling the Endless Revel. Our adventurers had made their way through the city, kind of exploring. They interacted with a satyr and a nymph, who seemed to be somewhat centric to this revelry that's going on with all the townspeople partying and drinking, seemingly to no end. After talking to a sober townsfolk you guys had ran into in the inn owned by the Mead King. A couple weeks have gone by since everything kind of started, and it's just gotten rowdier and rowdier. Making your way to the governor of Falx's offices, right? You found that it had been ransacked and kind of torn through. You found a dead body, where you found a few items, including an amulet that a couple of our party members had recognized as being a symbol of the Knight's Eye, a guild of assassins from the mainland. Unknown what they are doing on Artos. You found locked in a chest, a series of notes, and then a study that had been overturned with lots of research. The notes leading towards this crystal shard that seems, based on the notes you read through, to be centric to like historic, like major events through time, things that had happened, and not only is just around them, but somehow manages to cause these monumental events. While you were inspecting this area, you'd heard a thud on the door, reaching, like, kind of peeking out, an arrow with a scroll wrapped around it, sealed with an Alberand crest, with a note reading just simply, "To come home, don't make me force you." Which you guys had kind of ignored, just kind of taken kind of lightly. Vala, you had a moment trying to snatch at the letter, saying you would explain later.
back wall.
Tried to knock your way out through the back wall to no avail. Going out the front door, keeping your eyes out, a rapid volley of arrows was fired at you, escalating into full combat that nearly resulted in Raven's death. Some moments with the realization that this mysterious archer was revealed to be Vala's sister, traveling from Nalbrand, trying to bring her home. You knocked her out. You brought her back to consciousness. Vala, you knocked her back out. After which, Raven went for the kill. You deciding not to really talk about things now, that you needed to get out of town, get a moment to gather yourselves, figure out what was going to happen next. You returned to your campsite and settled in for the night. This night, following this tense combat and some pretty heavy interactions, all of you kind of separating off to yourselves to be with your thoughts. None of you were able to sleep particularly well. That's with everything that happened, just thinking about things left behind, your own homes. Each of you, one by one, outside of your watches, settle into fitful sleep. Vala, you sleep in your dream, and you know this is a dream because you're aware of yourself as you find yourself just kind of standing on an empty street, similar to one that you had just fought on and just had a really tense battle in. And it seems empty, and you look around, and just kind of looking down the street at the end, you see one large white owl, similar to the familiar that was with Teara, how she saw. And it's just sat on a box at the end of the street.
Teara.
Owl kind of turns to look at you, and as you speak, the space on the street between you and the owl stretches and seems to pull you away from it. And then you kind of looking around, you turn to the side, and it's just there within like reach, just this owl, and it's just sat on a box in front of you looking at you.
I'm gonna reach out towards the owl with like a shaky hand.
As you kind of reach out and touch the owl, it kind of turns, and it's just watching you, and you kind of touch it and run your kind of hand over its feathers, and it looks, and there goes a moment, and you kind of go over the top of its head, and as your hand kind of passes over, runs through, and it kind of, the entire scene morphs, and it goes to where you're holding kind of the back of Tara's head, and she's looking at you, and as she's looking at you, anything you go to speak, but as soon as you open your mouth to say anything, a shadowy arrow strikes from over your shoulder, striking to her chest. She gasps, her blind eyes kind of searching in darkness, and it goes quiet, and the whole scene melts away. You're left kneeling in the dark. And you awake. The rest of you kind of already up, moving about, while you were the last to awaken this morning. Settle into the campsite in early morning, the sun not having quite risen yet. Orelton, I imagine this morning you probably would have gotten a fire put together. Going to be tending that for morning.
Probably cooking breakfast over top of it.
Morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for getting the fire going.
Yeah. How'd y'all sleep?
About as good as I could have.
Can tell you
Alright,
all didn't.
Well,
Made all sorts of noise last night.
I feel you were far too chipper this morning.
Solidarity, sister. It's nice to know I'm not the only one suffering.
all right. This is awkward. I'm gonna go find more sticks, I guess. I'll be back.
Okay. Okay, you head out around. In the background here, just give me a survival check. And how hard are you actually trying to find sticks?
Just trying to get away. I mean, I'm not really trying to find sticks, but
Okay.
15.
I found us.
15. Okay. Cool.
Vala, are you okay?
I'll be fine. I think we need to focus on our next problem.
Okay. But what do we want to tackle?
Isn't our next problem kind of our last problem? You know, folks partying themselves to death back in town.
Yes, the satyrs.
Well, maybe we should get Kaya back here and think about what we want to do. How we want to solve that. I'll go get him. And I'll take off to go get Kaya.
I'll slap some breakfast down in front of Vala and sit next to her and not say anything.
Okay. Raven, you kind of wander off the direction that Kai went. He didn't make it too far, and he's got in the couple minutes since he wandered away. Just like a handful of small sticks, kindling, everything like that, and very clearly just meandering about, keeping just out of earshot of the campsite on his own.
Hey, Kaya.
Yeah. What's up?
I think we're gonna head back into town and try to fix this issue.
Right. That is, yeah, let's go.
Just head back to camp, I guess.
Okay. I'll be back. You have breakfast. And yeah, whatever conversations or anything you want to have, or you're planning on heading back into town, just let me know when y'all are set to do that.
So,
When...
go ahead.
Mike, go for it.
Okay. When, if there's any point where Vala's alone, Kaya will go over and just kind of talk to her for just a second. Hey, Vala, I'm not very good at this whole empathy or sympathy thing, but I'd be willing to shut up for, 5 minutes if you ever wanted to talk about it.
I appreciate that, but I think that at some point I need to explain to all of you a little bit about what's going on. I just don't know how to get started.
Take your time. I'm not asking you to. Just letting you know that if you need to, like I said, I'll shut up for a few minutes.
Thank you.
While they're away, I'll talk to Rilton.
Okay.
You find him by a tree, just zipping up. Yeah? What? What?
Hey, how do you deal with that rage that you get every now and then?
What do you mean, how do I deal with it?
How do you come back from it?
I don't come back from it. I let it out. And when it's out, this is what's left. You gotta use it. It's a tool as long as it's pushed in the right direction.
I'm not gonna lie, yesterday scared me.
Yeah, you gave me a jump too. They were right, I guess, huh? This continent does take the chipper out of anybody.
I guess so. I don't want this to change me though. Like,
Yeah, that optimism, the happy-go-lucky, whatever the fuck you got going on over there, that's a tool too. Just got to figure out which one you want to use, I guess. This works for me. Maybe it doesn't work for you.
yeah, maybe so.
And I punch him in the right shoulder, and I walk away.
Thank you.
After a few more minutes kind of go by, and everybody's able to regather at camp. You do have. Did any of you take the time to go through the things that you took off of Teara?
I just took the bow.
I don't remember.
So wasn't there...
She had the bow. She had the bag of gold, and then there's the empty bag.
I took the empty bag.
Right, you have the empty bag, which I will say, just they're not super uncommon. The empty bag is pretty obviously a bag of holding. It's a few minutes of messing around with it, and that's even absent-mindedly fiddling with it. If that's what you took, you would have.
Wasn't there... Who was it that found or took the gold? Because I don't think it was me.
I think Vala took it.
I think it was Voller, yeah.
Yeah.
So I just took the blindfold, and that was it.
Which, similarly, if you look, looking over the blindfold, because just over a short rest, you're able to identify magical items. This is a blindfold of familiar sight. It allows you, when looking through the eyes of familiars, to remain aware of your own senses.
Nice.
It was, yeah.
Just a
That's
blindfold.
pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That is a custom item I still need to actually input into D&D Beyond, but if you just make a note of that somewhere,
Yeah.
I'll get that actually put in as an item.
So where do you guys want to start? Do we want to go to the cellar and look at the portal, or
Well,
take out these
I
stairs?
definitely feel like... Well, so when we were walking back through, I know that you guys couldn't see it, but I think the satyrs are potentially a victim as well. And don't drink anything. It is spoiled. It is disgusting. I am regretting my decisions when we first got here.
I want to know why you can suddenly see this.
I would love to know too. But I don't have the answer.
What happened differently while we were in the city with you than anyone else?
The only thing that happened was the water lady kind of took me for surprise.
Oh, yes. But
It's
you
about the only thing
mentioned that
I can
she
think of.
also looked like she wasn't
So,
on
you know how
Pegasus.
she was a nice blue, like, color, right?
Yes.
Yeah, well, think like dirty seawater, like green.
Foamy in the whole nine.
Yeah,
Quite a change.
balmy and all.
Did you
What was
pick
that,
anything
Raven?
up? I was saying,
I-
quite the change. Did you pick anything up?
The only thing I picked up was off of the, what was it, the assassin? I picked up, there was a ring. Well, it was kind of a ring. You'll have to remind me because I totally didn't write it down.
You picked up the ring, the amulet, and then there was the silvery pouch, which I think you gave to Vala.
Yes, the amulet. That's what it was. So yeah, the amulet. And those are the only two things that I picked up.
I can't imagine that something like that would change your vision, but maybe.
I mean, potentially the amulet or the ring.
When we head back, maybe we can test it and see if there's something that these assassins already knew about coming in, if they were the
Well,
cause of this.
That's what I'm thinking, is maybe it has something to do with this ring or amulet.
Let's head back and check out the portal and see if we, I don't know, do we want to close it?
Yeah, I mean, putting two and two together. Puppetry, portal, never-ending revel, portal. I mean, they all seem to be tied together, right?
I worry about opening that or trying to close that portal. It's very dangerous.
Nah, we got the tablet. We've done it before. We can do it again.
Let's go check it out and see what we can, see if we find anything new. Maybe
Well-
see if we can run into our old pal.
I just hope there aren't more dead.
You and me both, man.
Okay, so as you all head back into the city, same route back. You kind of stayed close to the gates itself, but you head back in, and people are still out in the streets, drinking and singing and dancing. Since it's been pointed out to you, you realize some of the movements of the people dancing aren't like, it doesn't seem as joyful as they look. Like the movement seems sort of staggered and just not as fluid when you're really paying attention to the crowd. There are lots of people that are still like dancing fluidly. David, again, Kaya is only seeing like half the amount of people that are dancing and everything. It's for every person, there's somebody like just past them that is like, you see the shade of like almost a silhouette, like a blurred image, but you can make out where the real crowd is and where the illusion begins. And you see, especially like paying attention to the movements of the illusion, it kind of bows and flexes to always keep illusions out of hand's reach and kind of shift to force people under the influence of the illusion kind of towards, so that as people are moving around, the ones they're interacting with are other real people, and illusions are kind of just out of reach. Being able to see through it, and just as you guys are walking around, it's like it becomes obvious to you kind of how it starts moving.
Well, should we head up to the Dan?
Yes.
We'll make our way that way.
Okay.
As we're walking up, I'll saddle up next to Raven. Last time you closed one of these portals, you have to take a hit for it? I don't remember.
The
The thing keeps hitting you.
The first one we closed, I just shot the tablet that was controlling it. So if we can find another tablet, we can
Okay.
try to destroy that. But Otherwise, I can try using our current tablet to close it, but that's gonna take a hit.
You want me to take it instead? I feel like I'm a little more stalwart than you are.
It's up to you. Just know that tomorrow you're not gonna feel the same.
Don't know if I could feel much worse. Let me have a shot at it.
All right, I'll give the tablet up.
Okay. Will, you can add the cracked black crystal tablet, or the cracked crystal tablet, sorry, to your
Crystal
inventory.
tablet.
Make sure I've got that up on mine. You all proceed to town, or through the town. I know. Were you going to exchange items or anything? I know you were.
Oh
You
yes.
discussed that.
Kaya, do you mind if I hold that amulet?
Sure.
I'm gonna
Hand it
hold the
over.
amulet and look around and see if anything looks different.
The second the amulet leaves your hands, Kaya, everything kind of blurs and reforms into this illusion. And Vala, it like dissipates. It's like changing the aperture on a camera lens where everything just kind of goes out of focus. The only thing that remains in focus are the actual people that were
Okay.
around.
That definitely the assassins had something to do with this.
Yes. Yes. And after this mayor, why? I mean, these shards must be. She must know quite a lot more than what was left over in those notes.
Ought to be a distraction, though, right? I mean, all this.
Well, the distraction probably already happened.
No, that's what I'm saying. The whole revel was a distraction. Mr. Assassin got himself killed in the mayor's place, and the distraction just keeps on keeping on.
There's got to be a source somewhere, right?
But I think
Gotta
that
be.
portal's our best bet.
Yes, I agree. Let's go to the portal. Does anybody else want to see what it's like with this amulet?
I'm kind of enjoying the happier mode for now.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Kaya?
I'll take it back.
Okay. You proceed on until you reach the Dan. Kai, what is your passive perception?
10.
Okay. You proceed on until you reach the Dan. You walk in. You all enter the front room, and you see astride his throne of barrels and casks, with a mug in one hand that's kind of with every breath just sloshes a little bit every now and then, pouring onto his shirt. You see the Mead King in all of his rosy glory. He seems to have fashioned a cloak out of one of the curtains from the front of the inn. Kind of regaled himself even further. David, you see this still breathing. Actually, like as he breathes, he's spilling ale on himself, but the eyes are sunken, the lips are cracked and bleeding. His bare feet, the toenails are like grown out to like he had like you guys know that he has kind of been up on his throne for who knows how long, just and people have been bringing him food and drink. He has gained what you can tell is an incredible amount of weight since he was there, because like the clothes are now too tight and constraining. This is somebody that has lived in excess for like the last 2 or 3 weeks since it all began, just eating and drinking as much as he physically can. And he is just asleep.
Oh God.
I'm guessing he doesn't look so great.
Jesus. We need to fix this.
Let's get down there. And I'm just gonna
Kind of-
walk straight past him into the back room.
Yeah, you proceed through. The rug and everything in the room is still in place where you kind of left it and reset it. You kick that over, open the trap door, and are able to descend down into the darkness. Pulling back that curtain you had found before to a large cellar, dimly lit by this kind of glowing, kind of greenish. Thank you, backlight, for this color, the greenish blue. There we go. Wreathed in vines, not razor vine, but just vines that are pulling out through this magical barrier and pulling it open into a large archway.
Do we see anything else in the cellar other than this?
Make a perception check.
14.
14. Nothing like still like footprints. You had noticed before that there were like satyr like hoof prints and some feminine like bare feet coming out of the portal. Before you don't pick up anything new. I also want David, if you can give,
Yeah, I
if
was
Kaya
just
can
about
give
to
me a
ask.
perception check.
I was just about to ask. Ooh, 17 flat.
17 flat. David, you notice there is a small rune that has kind of a faint, like glow, like sort of in focus, but it's a small rune, and it looks to be like the same shape as the insignia on the amulet, the eye ringed in teeth with chains coming off of it.
I think I found it.
There's
Right
just
here.
a small mark.
And I point to, I'm assuming, is it on the floor, the wall?
It's just kind of on the floor, kind of off to this side. And you see, kind of mixed in with like the hoof prints and stuff, you see another like 2 pairs of boot prints. With that perception check, you'll be able to kind of pick it out. These, all of which is like semi-shrouded in illusion, part of the same illusion that you're able to see through with that amulet. Like pointing it out, nobody else can make out. Even the footprints, they seem to be disguised somehow.
So right here is where the problem lies. I'm pointing at the ground, and I imagine they can't see it.
Nothing.
Yeah, we don't see it,
think
so it
it's-
must be hidden.
So I think it's the same marking as this amulet. And unfortunately, I don't have a way of making it go away.
Is it a rune or is it just a marking?
It looks like a rune, but it's the same mark as this amulet. Well, I mean, let's give it a shot.
Right. And the rune, like me saying rune, like meaning it's a small kind of like simple inscription. It does seem to just be like a carved mark that's putting off like a light glow just from the illusion.
Okay.
That's-
And I go
It doesn't
through-
seem to be powering any.
Okay. And without removing the other boot prints, I'm gonna go through and I believe I do. I have a dagger. I'm gonna go through and just kind of try to scrape this marking off.
Yeah, that's going up to the stone. You can kind of scuff over it. It seems to have been like kind of scraped into the stone as well. But yeah, you kind of cut through it, and as he like starts scraping through it, there's this weird sensation where you guys see like a large scrape show up on the stone that kind of like slowly blurs out until it becomes part of like the stone as well. Like it's re-encompassed by the illusion. And your scrapes, as that kind of happens, you see them like sort of like their focus shifts, David, and they start putting off that same like light. Glow is also the wrong term, like that just kind of blur, like a Gaussian blur, where you're seeing that overlay of the illusion and these scrapes.
This is definitely where the problem, at least part of it.
Think it's power and all this, a tiny little carving in the stone?
Well, I mean, you guys can see it now, right?
No.
Only your scratches as you go across, but we
And then they go away.
Yes.
But then the scratches go away?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Here, can I have that amulet for a second?
Yeah.
I'll grab the amulet, and I assume
Is that
everything
same-
becomes
yeah,
visible
just-
to me.
That camera lens changing focus for it hurts your head for a second, and then it all kind of slides in and out.
There you are. And I'll
That's-
take my... You said it was down near the floor, right?
Yeah.
I'll take my sword off my back, and I will, like, golf swing, like, directly through the center of the stone that it's engraved into, and see if I can't just, like, shatter through the stone.
Okay.
Just like that
give
one little
me
stone.
give me just like an attack roll. Let's go.
Right. Please hold. D&D Beyond does not want to roll my dice.
Okay.
18.
18.
And then I assume
Yeah.
you want the damage on it.
No, I'm not actually going to worry about damage because you swing and your sword like kind of carves into the stone, chipping off like the entire section of rock where the rune was. Like it chips off. You guys all see this piece of rock come like flying out. There's a hole in the ground, and then that hole, like that chunk of stone that he just cut off, the entire thing like blurs and then looks like it becomes flat again, and then the chunk of stone though rolls away, and you can all see the rune with Kaya's scratches all through it, land kind of in the corner of the room next to it.
I'll hand the amulet back to Bauer.
Here we go again.
Nope. Doesn't look like that was the problem.
Well,
Could you touch the amulet to the stone and see if that does
That's-
anything?
that's kind of what I was thinking. And I'll take the amulet, touch the rune of the amulet.
Give me an Arcana check. What?
16.
16. You touch the amulet. Sorry, to the rune or to the hole in the ground where the rune was.
So I touch it to the rune itself.
Okay. 16. Nothing happens.
Nothing happens. Okay, I'm gonna go over to the hole, do the same thing.
Cool. Same Arcana check. That's the space that's there shimmers, and you can all see it kind of break for a moment, the illusion. And then you all watch as it kind of like slowly blurs back and covers it again. You can kind of temporarily reveal certain things by using the amulet to kind of expose a portion of it.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't want to take the focus off this, but maybe we should be looking at this. And I'll point over my
Right.
shoulder to the portal.
Just a big looming portal in the background.
I agree.
We going
So-
through or we're shutting it?
Raven,
Mm-hmm.
how do I do this?
I'm assuming he has attuned to it at this point.
No, you do have to.
Okay.
So you guys, in the time that you've taken, like kind of looking around, if you guys want to take the time to like take a short rest, so take a full like half hour just inspecting and diddling around. Yes, you can have attuned to it.
I don't think I can, actually. It says
Oh.
requires proficiency in the Arcana or Nature skill, neither of which I have.
Oh, then.
Oh, well, shit.
Yeah, no, you
I did not see that.
I don't get it, man.
I just been pointing at it and it goes. I just tell it what to do and it does it.
I've been staring at it for a half hour. I don't know what else I can do with this thing.
Maybe you can't use it then. I don't know why I would
Maybe.
be able to.
Maybe
No.
it has something to do with your family.
Yeah, that could
Some
be.
of that elf blood.
Well, you give me
Well,
some
if
time.
you die, I'm here to pick you back up. Go ahead.
All right, give me some time. I gotta. get back into
Because
this
he
thing.
didn't attune to it, it actually didn't break your
Oh,
attunement.
okay. Cool.
That's it.
I'll add that back in.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, you just still got it.
Okay.
All right. You're
And I will. Where's it at? I gotta mark it. Oh yeah, I don't have it on there. Yeah, so I will go ahead and take the tablet and point it in the direction of the portal. I'm assuming it starts thrumming.
Yep. Starts, and you guys all hear this deep reverberation.
I'm gonna.
And
I haven't cast it yet, so
okay, yeah, that's as the portal starts humming. You all hear
you might want to stand back.
Take a step back.
thudding coming from the other side, beyond the thrum. There are heavy footfalls.
That was good. That was good.
Probably
And
close
I'll
it.
cast it.
Thump.
And I'll
Yep.
cast gate.
So roll your damage.
5d8, right?
You see, as this, yes, the 5d8. There's this bright flash of emerald energy that creates like a beam between the tablet and the portal itself. And as it flashes, you see something begin to like reach through. Vala, with your passive perception, what's a Relton's passive perception?
Dog shit. 9.
9? Okay, so Vala, you see like reaching through this hand woven, like it's, because your passive perception is 20, right?
22.
20, shit, yeah. That's, you see, at first, like coming through, there's that kind of shade of the portal, and kind of beyond it, you can kind of make out like a forest. But you see a figure on the other side, like a large, that crouched down, and a hand kind of begin to come through. And as the finger kind of like the hand breaks the threshold, you make out like a human-looking hand, like humanoid, that is wrapped in thick vines, and you're able to see a face, and it's this large, kind of scruffy, bearded face, thick eyebrows, equal parts like vine and twig and leaf, as well as it is beard, and deep, deep blue and green swirled eyes that make eye contact with you as the portal snaps shut. And falling to the ground is the rest of you see this, except for Raven, who is thrown backwards against the back wall. This crack dropping to the ground is like a large twig, small stick, and like a thread, like this the clipping of a giant like fingernail that's about like this long.
Holy shit. 21 points of damage, by the way.
Shit.
Oh.
Oh, ow.
Ven, you all right?
No. Oh, shit.
I'll,
Oh, that didn't feel good.
Looks like a hell of
Get
a
up and
trip.
walk it
And
off, champ.
I'll go pick
I'm
up
gonna
the
walk-
fingernail.
There is in like the kind of soft like dirt and stone wall kind of behind where this has been like dug out. There's like a cartoon imprint of Raven where he hit the wall.
I'm gonna go over to Raven and cast Cure Wounds.
Okay.
For 14.
There we
I'm gonna
go.
say, I hope this makes you feel a little better. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And I won't look him in the eyes at all. Just and go.
Okay. Relton, you pick up this large fingernail, and as you pick it up, it actually seems kind of familiar. It almost feels like it's made out of the same material that wooden sword that you found is made of. Like, it has the exact shape of a fingernail. It's been sheared perfectly cleanly where the portal snapped shut on it. But yeah, you have that. Yeah.
And so it's like in a half moon shape, right?
Yeah, it's like half moon and then just flat on one side. And it is
Cool.
hard as metal, but has like grain, shaped like a fingernail. Hard as metal, but has like wood grain going through it.
Huh. Yeah, I'm glad we didn't have to go toe to toe with whatever the hell that thing was.
Right.
What thing?
In the portal, there was a creature. Did everybody see that?
Sure did.
I just saw a figure.
Well, I saw this.
Yeah.
It was It looked like an enormous man, almost covered in vines. And then Paula explains him. Y'all heard the description.
You got a better look than I did. And I'll put the fingernail in my bag.
I
Uh,
wonder if he's the source of all of these vines on the continent.
Oh, I think he's probably the source of these vines that were coming through, at least.
maybe it's father.
Maybe. Does it seem like the Gaussian blur has gone away?
Nope.
I didn't think
It's,
so.
looking through this, like, to anybody that's not, whoever's not holding onto the amulet, the floor seems to be perfectly in place. Whoever has the amulet, there's a big hole on one side. That's, yeah.
Just don't know what to. Do you think if we removed people from town, the illusion would wear off of them?
I mean, maybe.
Are you
Anyone,
gonna get a whole
anyone
town of people out of here?
anyone
Well, hold
proficient
on.
can make an Arcana check about you.
I don't think any of us are.
I don't think any of us are proficient in Arcana.
Okay,
Nope.
lock out of that. Okay, continue on.
I mean, do we just take one of the poor suckers that's passed out?
Like an experiment?
Yeah, bring them out and see if we can wake them up and see how they feel.
Sure.
It's worth a
My
try.
only other guess is has to do with those satyrs, right?
But if the satyrs were also sick, how do we?
I think so. Here's kind of what I want to try. I think I'm gonna take this rune or this engraving or whatever. I think I'm gonna take it outside the city, and maybe you guys can wait here and see if anything happens. Also, maybe I'll keep. Well, Vola. Well, maybe I'll see if I can find something on the outside. I don't know. I'm not very good at precipitation, but I can try
I
to find
don't
stuff.
think many people are.
Oh, you never know. I mean, I feel like you've got pretty good eyes.
I don't know what that has to do with rain.
Yeah, I've seen or I've heard of dudes that can call down like lightning, so I imagine they could probably do something with the rain too, right?
I'm
We're
not
getting
talking about
sidetracked.
rain.
What are we doing?
I'm not talking about rain.
Right?
I'm talking about seeing things.
Perception?
Oh yeah, perception.
That's what I said.
Okay, yeah. So
Just
anyway,
let them have it. Let them have it.
yeah, we're good.
Jeez.
Anyway, what was your plan?
Well, maybe take this rune out of the city and and see if I can't find, or maybe somebody else if they want to take the rune. See if they can find more.
Find more runes?
Yeah, just the little inscriptions on the ground. See if there's more of them. Or maybe it's just this one solitary one that covers this entire city. Which I find hard to believe.
Worth a shot. While you're out there, can I borrow that amulet again?
I mean, you can. I just won't be able to see anything on my way out.
Right, but I guess if we're in here and you're going out, we'll probably have more use for it than you will, right?
True.
Should we be splitting up?
I'm only going to take it outside the city. See what, maybe, the edge of the city or something starts to come to. I don't know. Just a shot in the dark. Actually, that bag. That bag you have.
Yes.
It's a bag of holding, right?
Yes.
Yeah, just put it in there. That'll take it out of here.
Oh, yeah.
We
That
could
was
try
a good
that.
idea. Pull the bag open. Great. Put it
All right. Let's stick it in there.
in there.
If that.
I know.
Yeah, this is what you get for your balking of my initial description of one of the rifts. You drop the little inscribed rock into the bag, and the rock goes in the bag.
Nothing changes.
Nothing changes.
Fair enough.
Let's go find these
Also, this
satyrs.
time, don't I
If
say
nothing
that?
else, maybe they know what the heck's happening. Assuming they're alive.
Let's hold on to that rock. It's got something going on with it.
And who has the amulet now as you guys are moving through the city?
I do.
Okay. Run those. You guys kind of go out. Around you see the same scene with the Mead King. Some unconscious patrons all through the bar that just all look sick and ill. They're the same horrible scene. I won't describe it every time you guys have to go through it. I would like you to make a perception check as you guys go through the city towards the... Are you going towards the fountain where there were the satyrs and the nymph that you had interacted with before?
That was my plan, yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception check as you go through.
I'm so good at these. 2.
2.
Oh.
Okay. That's just like every
I
now and then, like you every now and then, like, we'll just be tossing like the amulet to it yourself, and so every time like it leaves your hand, it like blurs out and comes back, and as you catch it, you're like, oh, can't do that. And just every now and then you just absent-mindedly toss it to yourself again, and it just throws
Spin it
off
around your finger and it flings off in a direction. You gotta go pick it up.
As we're walking, can I keep an eye out for England, the tiefling?
Yeah. Go ahead and make a perception check as well.
Totally forgot about that, dude.
9. No, sorry, 10.
10. Okay. That's no, you don't spot him or anything. You guys proceed through. 20 fucking 2.
Why don't we just give the...
No, that's so. This is as you guys are actively looking for stuff. Vala, a few blocks go by, and you realize that you've seen like a repeating pattern in the crowd. And it takes you a minute. Like the third time you see them, you realize it's not somebody that's like dancing and partying. It's like a hooded figure that is always moving, just like on the outskirts where what you now like have been kind of told where the illusion's thickest is moving, but you seem to be being tailed.
See.
And that is normal. Like I have written down as a DC 20 perception check, and your passive just fucks with. I forgot it was so high. So you spot that you have a tail. None of the rest of you do. As you proceed down, and you make it to the fountain, like kind of to the fountain. Shortly after you've realized you've picked somebody up, there is a satyr who Orelton you see is kind of still drinking. They are talking to like the same woman that was there, kind of like caressing their chest and everything the night before when you guys had originally approached him. But this time he's talking to her, and she just seems to be like dead on the ground, like her head's in his lap, and he's just kind of absentmindedly like playing with her hair. And he has a goblet that you see is like brimming with flies, and like it's just nasty, like week old party cup, red solo cup that keeps getting refilled. You all see the nymph is kind of floating, her eyes closed gracefully, just kind of floating in a circle with the current of the fountain. She is also very clearly dead. To a
The nymph is floating in the fountain.
the nymph is floating dead in the fountain, with her eyes closed. Just the rest of you, it just looks like she's kind of peacefully going. Like you see her every now and then shift, and she takes a big breath. You see her eye, like around her eyes are like open wide, and she's just slowly circling this with the current of the fountain.
Wolf. And the satyr, he looks pretty bad for the wear.
He looks pretty bad. He's thin, like patches of his fur have started to fall out. And he kind of looks up and grins at all of you. You, and he points at Kaya. You, I recognize. You were here last night. And takes another big swig from his cup. Come back for more from my friend. And he reaches back and just kind of like feels for the nymph, but she just kind of floats by, and he doesn't realize.
Not this time. Hopefully you'll be thanking us later.
Yes, I could be thanking you right now if you had the mind for it. He takes another big swig.
I don't.
While this conversation is going on, is there any way I can attempt to sneak away from the party? I want to try and loop behind our tail.
Go ahead. Are you trying? Give me a stealth check.
Okay.
And while she does that, DM question.
Yeah.
Do I feel any tug from that wooden sword since I'm here?
Oh, because you have that equipped.
It's not attuned, obviously.
It's not attuned. Yeah. There is some like, yeah. As you like are there in the presence of the satyr for a period of time, you keep having like an itch by your shoulder, and as you scratch, like you keep brushing the sword. Like it wants to be drawn, like it feels like it wants, is the biggest thing, and it's at like if yeah, sorry, I meant originally had like an insight check planned for this, but since you specifically brought it up, like you notice like Arelton kind of notices that he keeps scratching his shoulder where it's strapped, and like that itch keeps getting closer and closer to the handle. Yeah.
I will hand the amulet just like back behind me, like not looking at anybody, and just like make the motion to take it.
I guess I'll take
Kai takes it back, and Kai, that's you. So both of your vision changes. So you see the entire nightmarescape that laid out before you. You now see a very handsome young, kind of wispy goateed satyr, with a half full cup of just a deep red wine.
I will go up for the sword and then quickly draw it and lunge past the satyr and stab into the dead. What did you call her in the fountain?
The nymph.
Red,
So
or
she's a naiad.
A naiad, that's right.
Specifically. Yeah.
And I will see if I can't just tag her in the chest and open it up.
Yeah, it is. Knowing the state that the satyr's in, he does not even get a chance for like a saving throw or any sort of interposing move. You move through, the sword just sinks right through her, and like she breaks apart. This is a dead body that's been floating in the water for at least a night, or for at most a night. Sorry, because she was actually up and moving the night before, and she just kind of, with how strong you are, you just cut into her and pull her open. As soon as you interact that viscerally, there's like a moment the illusion shatters. She immediately changes colors. She gets torn open, and she now looks like she's been dead for a while to the rest of you. And the satyr, as he now kind of finally gets to react, like turns, looks at you, and then looks, and his eyes don't make it past the sword that you've drawn. His eyes go wide, and he starts like backpedaling, pulling away. And what is that? What is that? What have you done? Yes. And he looks to the nymph. He's like, no. And he full panics, and just like his arm, like he had, having not stood for however long he's been there, like kind of collapses, and he just is too frightened to move or speak. He's just there on the ground shaking. O'Relton standing in the fountain, which is now filling with blood. The sword kind of sunk slightly into the stone at the bottom of the fountain.
And
That's
still feeling that pull. Instead of acknowledging the satyr, I pry her a little farther open and just go for her heart.
That's, yeah. You all watch O'Relton as he just reaches into this Naiad's chest, pulling the heart from her. And it's, yeah, like taking candy from a baby. It's a horrible metaphor right now.
What are you doing?
I
PS
don't really
sneak
know.
check. Sorry,
What was your sneak check? What was your
Sorry.
stealth?
a 6. So
6? Well, we're actually going to get to this because this happened really quick. So Vala, you've kind of made your way, started making your way around. As you loop, kind of start beginning to loop, you lose track of the tail. That's you. I'm just not sure where he is currently, but we're going to go back to Kaya, Raven, O'Relton, and the Satyr.
I don't understand.
I don't really either. I just need this. Do I know what I need to do with it?
That's there. There's like an additional pull. Like you feel like having the sword drawn, the inscription that kind of like, there's an inscription that has kind of lit up that you feel like you can understand. Like it's not so much words as it is feelings. You're drawn to like complete the ritual to attune to the blade.
Okay. I will do whatever I feel that I need to complete the attunement.
Okay. As you like kind of, the satyr kind of composing himself, starts, and he, with the minuses and everything he's under, he can't physically, I think, beat your armor class. But you all watch it. The satyr like begins like, he like prying at the sword from your hands. He like strikes at you and just is kind of helplessly beating against your shoulder and the side of your head.
Raven's gonna pull his bow, the new bow.
Okay.
Get off of him.
I'm actually going to cast Hold Person on him.
Whole person. We're gonna make a saving throw at disadvantage here.
Because they are humanoid, right?
Yeah, they are humanoid. I'm guessing a 4 doesn't overcome your. As you, he kind of like locks in place. As you said, get off of him. Like as he was striking, the satyr's just kind of crying, like, "You monster! You don't know what you did to her. What did she ever do to you?" She was, and then just freezes in place, like as Orelton has begun like squeezing like this heart down as the blood comes off, you're tracing along the full length of the blade. There's these kind of flowing inscriptions. You're tracing through. It'll take probably about half an hour to fully complete the process.
So,
And you've just begun.
so as
And
he's
there,
doing,
sorry, and just to be clear, there it is like a draw. Does Orelton try to resist the pull? Because it is something that Orelton would be able to pull himself away from. But if you're leaning into it,
Oh, this is a badass sword. I want this sword.
guy.
Dark, guys.
oh boy,
Dark.
oh boy.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I guess
Uh,
he's doing that. Almost immediately after I cast the hold person, I'm gonna walk towards the satyr and go. She was already dead.
he's just frozen, like half swing. The only thing moving is just tears pouring from his face.
No, you don't believe me, and you have no reason to. But she was dead.
Give me a persuasion check at disadvantage.
Two 11s, which puts me at 18.
Ooh.
Okay. That's you don't know how it went until advantage on this. You don't know how it went until the hold person releases, but it's
So essentially, concentration up to 1 minute, casting time, or every round he gets a saving throw, all the fun stuff. And I'm just going to continue talking to him and try to reassure him that she was dead before he got there, or before he did this.
Hey, Raven. As I'm like squeezing the heart over the blade.
Yeah.
There's some rope in my bag. Should probably tie him up.
Yeah. And I'll just grab the rope out and tie the satyr up.
yeah, it's easy enough. As he's paralyzed, you can kind of like bend and twist the arms into a position that allow you to truss him up. Vala, at this point, you've kind of circled around to where you know this figure that was trailing you was, and they're just nowhere to be found.
Gonna try and see if I can find them in the area.
Make an investigation check. Let you start looking around. I went through all of his saving throw rolls. You have a full minute before he is able to come through. I didn't roll above a 10.
Poor dude.
I'm going to basically kind of try to just explain the situation as best I can.
And as soon as that the hold person comes off, he just kind of like collapses against Raven. You're kind of finishing up tying the knots, and just he like half conscious, just like collapses against you, and is just like crying.
Sorry. She was
18,
she
by
was
the way.
gone.
18.
Raven, go on.
No, that was it.
With an 18, you think like there's still a few people kind of moving around, but you think for a moment you see like footprints kind of leading around into an alleyway, before somebody like walks through and tries. You think you have an idea of the direction that they went, but for now they've escaped you. And yeah, are the three of you taking the time to complete the ritual to attune?
I mean, I'm
favor
sure
here?
at
Yeah.
some point we'd realize that Vala's missing.
It looks like Vala has made her way back to you guys. There is now a fountain full of blood, with Orelton.
Hold
kind
up.
of- yeah.
We all
Okay.
know this ritual is a thing that's supposed to be happening, or do we just see him being fucking crazy, rubbing a naiad heart along the edge of his sword like a creep.
We just
Yeah,
see
that's
that
what-
happening.
It's glowing,
So-
isn't it? The sword is glowing, is what you said.
To you,
Oh, okay.
I'm just
So-
I'm just too terrified to do anything.
I asked him what he was doing, and he said he didn't know. He just felt like he needed to do it. So, who am I to get in his way?
So no, that was Rachel asking
Yeah.
the DM.
Yeah,
like,
that's-
see, we do
so-
like he's just
no, he just started doing that, and that's. But
okay.
the entire time seems fully calm, collected, in control of his actions. That's just very. It's about. You've all seen Relton like sit down and polish, like sharpen the edge of his sword, take care of his equipment. It's very much the same thing. He just.
Just doing it with a heart.
Yeah, he just sat
Yeah,
down and just began that same meticulous care that you've seen him put into like cleaning his equipment.
This is terrible, guys. This is terrible. Okay.
Yeah.
So no, Vala's back around, and she hasn't actually been watching this. So.
Yeah.
Oh well, what are you doing?
I don't know. The sword just needs this.
Do you guys hear this?
Just give me
I
15
mean-
minutes, will you?
I do, but I mean, what's the worst that's gonna happen? He's gonna have a bloody sword. She was
Yeah,
already dead.
She was dead
Yeah,
already.
Just to verify, she was
I-
already dead.
I didn't kill anybody with it.
And what, the satyr, what are we planning on doing with him?
Well, I don't plan on doing anything.
Yeah, that's
with
the
him.
other part that you come back to, a tied up, crying satyr who's just like leaning against Raven. He has
Oh,
some
okay.
blood like on his face and stuff. His knuckles are like bloodied from where he was striking against Relton's armor.
Well, first off, you're the one that left. Why are you asking us all the questions? I mean, I understand the situation you come back to is a little odd, but where did you go?
I thought I saw something.
Now who sounds crazy? Huh? Now who sounds crazy?
As he's rubbing his sword with the heart. Well, I mean, there's a lot going on right now. Well, okay. To give you the real short rundown, he got mad. This nymph or whatever that is was already dead. We tried to calm him down, hold person. We weren't sure if he was gonna freak out or not. Tied him up. We'll deal with him in a minute. But as far as Elton goes, I have no idea.
I'm telling you, give me a second. It'll all come together. I don't think
I don't.
he's gonna like me one way or another, though. I mean, I did just kill his friend.
I don't. Are you sure that you should be doing this for this sword? We don't know anything about it.
Nope, I'm not sure.
Then
This-
why are you doing it?
The satyr kind of looks up from like where Raven's holding him. Her name was Alarin. You should at least know that much.
Well, Lauren, thank you for her sacrifice.
Listen, friend.
Shit. man.
Oh, that's messed up, man.
I'm just. I know it may not be the time, but I think you need to eat something. You're not looking so great at yourself.
Fine. Let's. We need to get her into fresh, natural water. She'd want that much at least.
Of course.
How far through the attunement are we at this point?
If you guys are letting you guys succeed, that's you're just about closing it. As you kind of get to the closing portion of the attunement, you all see these inscriptions begin to like kind of glow. Where the portal you saw was kind of that like luminescent bluish green. The runes begin to glow with still green, but like the inverse, where it was like the blue green of like natural bioluminescence and like a very natural thing. This green is like a neon, like eldritch, like twisting shadows in the depths of the green that starts to kind of glow. And as it passes through, you realize that it's got like, for how long he's been kind of going over these inscriptions with the bloody heart, the sword seems to have been drinking it up, and it now begins to the point where the light almost seems like it's breathing, it's pulsing. And the satyr kind of begins to stand, and he doesn't pull hard against you, but he kind of goes to stand next to the naiad, hands kind of bound behind his back, and just kind of like looking over her, and breathes. And he looks to kind of goes, "You said she was already dead.
Yes.
What he's doing is still sick." There's a pulse, a final kind of like flash from the sword. Relton, you hear, "Good, brother. Let us hunt." The satyr, you all watch him at the same time there's this flash, bares his teeth and is going to like full attack, pulls against his restraints. He goes feral at the same time this flash goes, and he's going to set everything he has to attacking Relton. Everything he has is, does a 12 hit you?
Does not.
As he bites down on like your shoulder, and you actually hear like a tooth crack against your armor. What do you all do?
I try and pull him off of me. Just like grab a horn and see if I can't like shove him to the ground.
Yeah, make an opposed athletics check. That's he has disadvantage with this, which is a 2 minus 3 right now because of his debuffs. So -1.
15 and 3 is 16 for me.
Yeah, you grab onto his horn and just like pull him off, holding it at arm's reach. He kind of like goes into a half jump. Disadvantage is going to try to kick you, which is a 14.
Nope.
Like he strikes at you, and he is like, he is going to continue trying to attack you. Like everything he's doing. I don't. What's your armor class?
17.
Yeah, it would have to be a natural 20 to even hit you. So I'm just gonna do a couple rolls, just to get averages. Yeah,
I guess I'll throw another hold person out there.
Okay. It's a 15 to withstand that.
That
does. So he does
save.
Everything, like every round that goes by, he is like, if he can, you're holding him by his horn, and he's like pulling and yanking, like almost trying to break himself free of your grip, swinging with his shoulders, kicking at you.
I'm gonna come up behind him and try to hit him with my quarterstaff to knock him out.
Yeah, go ahead and make an attack with advantage.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's an 8. That's not gonna hit.
No, 8 misses.
I'll do the same thing, except just fist to the face.
Yep, go ahead and make an attack. And it's 1 plus your strength modifier is damage if you hit.
And a bloody heart fist to the face.
So a dirty 20 to hit, yes, and a bloody heart fist to the face.
Yeah, just.
And 1 plus my strength is 4 damage.
4 is exactly what you need. Is 4 hit points. You just clock him in the jaw. Yeah, you clock him in the jaw, and just he goes slack. You're just holding him up by his horn.
I will lay him down next to the fountain like I found him.
Okay.
Do I know the effects of the weapon now, or I'm still
now that you're attuned, you have this feeling. We should just kill him. He's a filthy animal master.
He didn't do anything yet.
But his
Um,
kind dies.
We'll look at the one in the fountain. And I will pick up the Naiad. And you said we were by a bay, right?
Yes, that's so you had traveled kind of up the coast, so
Right.
there is a large harbor, actually pretty nearby. You can see ships kind of docked in the distance. On the
And I
street.
will start taking her out to the freshwater.
Okay.
Did you say that out loud? The whole he hasn't done anything yet.
I imagine I would have, yeah.
What do you mean he hasn't done anything yet?
Well, that's why we're not killing him. He hasn't done anything. He just got angry. I get why he was angry.
Why did you feel the need to say it?
Because didn't you hear?
Hear what?
I
sword?
heard you thought him in the face.
Yeah. And then he said we should kill him. And I
Who?
said no, we shouldn't kill him.
Who said we should
Who?
kill him?
I don't know. This guy? I'll point to the sword.
Oh, this just gets more and more interesting.
I told you
boy.
it'll pay off.
Well,
I'm still heading.
Yep. That's
okay. Well,
awesome.
I guess I won't question it.
you guys
We'll
go
follow along.
through the city streets, drawing weirdly no second guesses as you are carting the body of this naiad through the street. And
Sorry, I am going to be keeping an eye out for any more runes or anything.
I think
suspicious.
Relton's still got the amulet. So actually, Relton,
No,
give me a perception check.
I
as well.
handed
it
oh,
back.
oh yeah,
Do that.
give me a perception check.
Oh, God damn it. 14.
14. No, it's you're not really seeing anything. Yeah, you guys proceed. You make it to. Oh,
Sorry. Bala is not moving. Like, she's not following Merelton.
Yeah,
She's just sitting there staring at this satyr. Just looking completely white as a ghost, like she's about to vomit.
I'm also gonna stay back with the satyr.
The Kain and Relton have gone off. Raven and Bala staying behind.
So when we get to the well, it's a saltwater bay, isn't it?
But I meant like natural water, not
Natural
necessarily
water.
fresh. But yeah.
I'll just take her and I'll put her in the water and I'll give her like a nice little shove out
Okay.
and I'll nod her off. And if Bauer's standing next to me, which I assume he is, I'll turn to him and I'll say, "The dead are the lucky ones."
I mean, I can't say 100% that I agree, but I guess it's better than what they went through.
Especially her.
So, I don't know how to ask this, so I'm just gonna ask it. What the fuck?
I don't know, man. I felt I felt a pull from the sword. Faybreaker, by the way, is its name.
Faybreaker.
Faybreaker, yeah. Which kind of explains the whole satyr getting mad at me thing.
I mean, I guess it really doesn't. It's just a flash of light, and he goes like a rabid beast. And you're talking about a talking sword. This is all really hard to follow.
Yeah, for you and me both, man, but I don't know. I think it'll pay off in the long run.
I guess we'll see.
I swear to God, if any of the other two give me shit, they got their own
Well-
problems to work out now. Shouldn't be giving me crap about mine. Dead blind sister trying to kill all of her friends. Whatever the fuck Raven's got going on.
I mean, we've all got our demons.
Yeah, and here's mine.
Yeah, I feel like you got another demon as well. But
I am no demon.
As I assume Kaya doesn't
No,
react.
it's just you. That's all you just. And it's faint. It's muffled because as he's sheathed, he's more difficult to speak. But you just hear muffled. I am no demon.
I'm gonna see if I can't talk back to him mentally and just in my head. What are you? then?
I am a hunter.
This would have been a lot easier if I'd known you could hear my thoughts beforehand.
I imagine I'm just standing there staring at Orelton, and he just got this blank expression. I'm like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, that makes it like you'd think being able to telepathically talk to the sword makes you seem less crazy, but you're just like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's head back.
Okay.
While that's
Head
all
back.
happening, I just want to like bend over to where the satyr's at and just try to clean him up a bit. I know I can't really see what's happened to him, but I'm assuming there's blood on his face,
Yeah.
and just trying to wipe
some of
his face off.
and most of the damage that is visible on his face, like you clean it, slowly fades back to like that healthy, normal look. As you're paying attention, like you touch him, you realize like where his cheeks, where Kaya and Orelton had seen his cheek sunken in. So you go to brush his cheek, like your fingers kind of sink below the illusion, which then kind of like shifts to match what you're doing. Like it's slightly delayed. As you're closely interacting with him,
I just want to kind of like prop him up and get him a little more comfortable. And
I'll
I'm sorry,
Follow,
Valen.
come over and help. It's not your fault. And she'll do some medicine-y things that will not wake him up, but will hopefully
touch him up.
keep the rest of him okay. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So
Give me a
medicine check.
medicine check. Yeah.
23.
23. Yeah, that's you clean him up. You get him kind of into a comfortable position. Do you untie him?
No.
No. Okay. Let's get him tied up, but you get him a little bit more comfortable, clean the blood off of him. Imagine with the 23 medicine, which I like to believe covers some mental health as well. You move him away from the fountain, like out of sight, which is still full of like the water is like swirling red. Yeah. You move him away from the fountain.
Even through the illusion.
Even through the illusion. This is like the blood that spilled onto the stones and everything seems to be like fading quickly, like kind of that slow blur out, so it's not like a rapid shift, but the water itself seems to not be able to like fix this big of a deal. So yeah, Kaya and Orelton, you make your way back and find
I'll
Paul and
keep a
Raven a
distance
short ways
from-
away.
I'll keep a distance from the satyr.
What do you think about keeping that sword out of sight, out of mind for at least a little while?
I mean, that was the plan, but for him, it's not going to help.
How do you know?
I don't know. I could just feel it.
Prey fears the hunter. It's instinct.
I'll think back. Listen, man, you're coming on a little strong straight out the gate.
The voice subsides.
Thanks.
I mean, do you think maybe putting it in the bag would help? Just like I said, out of sight, out of mind.
I don't think it'd help. I can prove it to you though, and I will put the sword in the bag temporarily. Oh, wait, Vala's got it, doesn't she?
Vala's
Yeah.
got it, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean-
Probably shouldn't let him see it if we're going to do this experiment, right? So Why don't I just leave it here and I'll walk over to him?
Leave it behind. The satyr's still asleep. Which is, asleep is a better term for it now with after Val's care.
What do we do with this?
Well,
Him?
Alrighty.
I'd like to untie him and walk away, but
yeah.
I think Bauer wants to run a little experiment here.
No. No, if he's sleeping, leave him be.
I'll run back over and get the sword.
I'll go ahead and untie him.
Is the revel still occurring around us?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people are still.
I don't think this satyr is the center of this revel.
It's not.
I think there was somebody that was following us earlier.
Val, you seem to see a lot more. You think giving her the amulet might be better?
You're definitely more perceptional
Hey!
than I am.
Close enough.
I'll take the
Hand it over.
amulet.
Okay. It's getting to about midday. It's everything blurs and shifts as your focus is like realign. And as you kind of move away from the satyr, Val, it does not take you long with your passive perception to notice. Occasionally, you'll see on an alleyway, you kind of pass by and you see one of those runes kind of marked into the side of a wall. And it is more like the rune that's engraved on the amulet is complex. Like each tooth around the ring has details. This is like an oval surrounded by triangles with an X through the entire thing. Something hastily kind of scrawled in. But you see occasionally, like on a doorway, you'll see a mark with like some scratches next to it, a line. But you see what finally kind of really catches your attention if you point out a couple of these. There's an alleyway that has the mark and just a arrow carved like below it, pointing down the alley. And this is one that connects kind of in the same direction that you saw the figure escape earlier. Not the same alleyway, but like, yeah, same direction. That was the right phrase.
Raven.
Yeah.
You're quite sneaky, yes?
Yeah, it can be.
I think the figure I saw may have gone down in this direction. He's wearing a cloak. Keep an eye out for these symbols. Do you want the stone, or should I keep it?
I'm not the most perceptive, but I can try.
Just
I think you
do
mean
it as a sacred
Oh, never mind.
Sorry, what was that? What'd you say?
I didn't say anything.
I thought Vala was saying something as Kaya was like the precipit.
I don't remember.
So,
I was laughing too.
Raven, are you taking the amulet and scouting ahead?
Yeah, I'll take the amulet, and then are the buildings like fairly level with each other?
Yeah, that's in this portion of the city, the more established part that you guys are walking around in. Everything seems to be more uniform and even. It was on the kind of the outskirts that it looked like people were taking, but you found out where the small like instant houses, people were just kind of like throwing them down where they'd fit.
About how tall
here
are they?
everything's they are 25 feet tall each.
Never mind. I will continue down the road. And I'll just like occasionally, like anywhere there's like a darkened, I know it's midday, but if there's a darkened area, I'll try to sit in there and kind of take a look for a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me a stealth check.
Dirty 20.
32. Okay. You spend, and this will be probably a good portion of the rest of the afternoon, with you kind of scouting through the city, coming back and reporting as you kind of start deciphering this network. Now that you know the runes, you have the amulet went through. It gets kind of towards evening, but you get to a point where there is a figure who is sat next to a door, and every time you've seen somebody that's not like dancing and partying, you've been stopping and scoping him out for a little bit. But this one's sitting, and he has a large mug, um, and you see next to him that he has a sword leaning against his chair, and though he has the mug, he's not drinking from it. He's very carefully keeping watch up and down an alleyway. And you see next to him is a door that has a light blur, similar to what you've seen when like there's an illusion somewhere that's that you're kind of seeing through. There's an illusion covering this door that you're able to kind of see through.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll report back and let everybody know where that's at. So there's I found him. He's sitting by a door up here. Looks like it's a hidden door as well.
Is
He's
there
Go ahead.
is there another way around the building? Another potential entry?
I would assume there's normal entries, but this one's hidden by the illusion.
Why would he just be sitting in front of a door? He was just following us around a while back, right? Are we sure this is the same dude?
It's a dude. And he's definitely sitting there with a sword. So I think he might be guarding.
I would think there may be more of them than just the one I saw. Perhaps the one I saw slipped into this building and this is just another one of their cronies.
Didn't have any markings on him, did he? Kind of like the assassin symbol. You know what I'm talking about?
Not that I saw.
We go up there?
However,
ready for a
the
fight.
assassin
It's the only clue we have.
Are
and
we?
the assassin symbol was also on the wall directing us towards this area.
So I mean, put two and two together.
Swear to go.
You want to see if maybe one of us can get inside by pretending to be them? I don't know how close of how tight of a knit group they are.
Well, I can change my appearance, but I don't know what they look like.
We saw the one on the floor, right? Can you make yourself look like them?
That's probably a good idea.
Should I look exactly like him?
We should have got his name. He wasn't much of a talker, though, was he?
He was dead. But all right. Let's get closer, and I'll change my shape.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm. This is through your disguise self?
Alter self.
Alter self. Oh, okay. And
Mm.
you take the form of this elven man, long brown hair, kind of thin, wispy features. Can you change the way your clothes look with that?
You can transform your appearance. You decide what you look like: height, weight, facial features, sound of your voice, coloration, distinguishing characteristics, if any. You can make yourself appear as a member of another race. None of your statistics change. You can appear as a creature of size, shape, blah, 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 blah. Anytime you can use your action to change your appearance in this way again. It doesn't say that I can't, but it doesn't say that I can. So,
You, I think. Let's see.
How far is the
because
mayor's
I mean,
house from there?
technically,
The mayor's
Technically,
house is
I-
actually a pretty short ways away. What's up?
technically, I mean, if we want to go through that standpoint, when I swapped over into Vala, I mean, I would have been wearing my own clothes, if not hers, so it would have been kind of awkward. But I don't know.
Let's see. I just want to do a rule check on. So I don't think with Alter Self you can make clothes. So you would have to go back to the mayor's house and get their clothes, which is a short ways away, so it shouldn't be a problem. Just double checking. Yes.
While we're doing
okay,
that,
no, it
we'll-
is just your appearance. So you'd have to go get their clothes.
Okay.
To be able to do that. Is that you guys head to the mayor's house
yeah,
I think we gotta.
or the governess's house?
Yeah.
I don't think we have
Okay.
a choice.
You go and you are able to, cover his clothes. The body's still there. Do you do anything with the body?
Should probably get rid of it. Or at least hide it.
Say we hide the body somewhere. Not that he would, but you know, going through all the pockets and everything. Does he have some form of ID?
Where's his name tag?
You're under the impression that the amulet is some form of identification.
Right.
Amulet itself.
Weird. Assassins are about anonymity? Who knew?
Oh.
Yeah, you know, we wouldn't have his name tag anywhere or an ID on him, or
Who
okay.
working for? I mean, come on. It's contract.
We want to maybe try for this in the morning. I feel like if it all goes tits up, I'd rather see you go and fighting.
Pay it 100%.
Be
I
nice.
agree.
You
So-
guys go back into the woods, or are you gonna like bolster down the actual governor's house, like office area?
Yeah, I'm thinking where this doesn't
Great
have
question.
any windows or anything like that. Maybe we'll take the body with us into a room and we'll just fortify a room. Actually,
I don't feel like I want to sleep in a room with a dead body. Have you ever smelled one?
yes.
Don't you study medicine?
Yes, and it's still unpleasant.
Right.
I don't know.
But
You do it enough times and it's fine.
if this gets found, here's the problem. If this body gets found, me going in, I will probably be immediately shot on sight. I'd prefer
Well, then
not to happen.
let's take the body with us.
I mean, you got a bag of holding, right?
Can we fit a whole person in a bag of holding?
I
Small
mean,
but
we've
pieces
You
you
got.
can certainly try.
Oh,
It's like you guys have never had to do some shit. None of you were in the military, were you?
No.
yes,
definitely was not.
actually, yes.
Must be nice and cushy over there in Malvern. I will pull out my my non-fey breaker greatsword and see if I can't pry up a floorboard.
Yeah, we'll say like where time's not really an issue. You guys are camping out here. That's takes you a couple minutes, but you're able to yank up a couple.
How about there?
There's a small space.
Well, it's better than the closet. Cause skeletons in your closet.
Hey, is that a skeleton yet, though?
You will
But you
be.
will be.
So
Wow.
basically, any of the doors that open inward to the room, I'm going to slowly go through and move stuff out of the way for all of us to sleep in.
Oh,
And then once we get to that point, I'm going to take out the rod of holding and put it behind the door.
Are we
Okay.
worried about the revel at all? I figure nobody can get to us with our fortifications, but we're gonna wake up partying in the middle of the night, or not wake up partying in the middle of the night.
It's true. I
I
mean,
mean,
there's other people here who haven't started to take part in the revel either.
That's true. They can't all have amulets, can they?
I mean, I've got an amulet. Worst case scenario, I try to break you out of it or do the best I can.
Yeah, that's a good point. Why don't you just hand the amulet to whoever goes party crazy?
Yeah.
okay.
Cool.
Is set up. Yeah, rod hole. You can actually do that on the front door if you want.
I mean, I could do that as well.
Or if you
Um,
just all wanted to be in one room, yeah, easy
Up
enough.
to you guys. I could do it on the front door, or we can do it on one of these rooms here.
6s as far as I'm concerned.
Would I know that the area that building was at is going to be very dark at night?
Yeah, that's a lot of the side alleys and stuff. That nobody's been maintaining the lanterns or anything. So outside of where there's groups of people, it gets nearly pitch black.
If you guys don't mind, I wouldn't mind taking a watch, just watching the building.
It's up to you.
The outside?
Yeah, seeing movement, people come in and out.
Well, then I'll hand this to you, but I want it back. I give him the rod of holding.
So are you not going to be resting tonight then?
I'll just take a few hours to watch.
Okay.
So
I know we're running short on time, so we'll go into what you see kind of while you're off scoping out the building. You come back. We'll go into what you saw then. Just really quick, where it is, just in case. Is there anything anybody else wanted to talk before everyone went to bed and had this next night of rest?
With like a nice cutoff point for Orelton, and he'll find like just a 90-degree up to a wall, curl up, nod his head down like he's getting ready to go to sleep, and start talking with Faybreaker in his head.
Okay. How about the rest of you?
Kaya's going to awkwardly look up at Vala a couple times, like trying to think of something to say, and then just leaving it alone and eventually going to sleep.
Okay.
aw.
Before Raven heads out, Vala's gonna grab Raven by the arm and say,
When all of this is over with and we've dealt with whatever's happening in this city, I need to have a conversation with you.
I think that'd be for best.
Thank you.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
she's gonna go to bed.
Yeah. With this, we'll say that at this point, Raven goes out to watch. So we'll get into your Relton's conversation with Faybreaker. We'll get into what Raven sees out on the watch. Whatever happens next time on Easy Dispel. Thank you guys so much for coming. Again, a huge shout out to Syrinscape. We didn't use it tonight, but Owlbear Rodeo. Love using it. Love Syrinscape. J Taro D&D Icons, or J
Our name?
Wong.
Hey, Wong.
J Wong. I think he's J Taro on like something.
So it's J Taro on one of his other handles. I believe that's his art station.
Okay.
The rest is all D&D icons.
Awesome. Yeah. D&D Icons. J Wong over D&D Icons. It's awesome. Yeah. Thank you guys. We'll see you next week. Good night.
Later.
Next time on Easy Dispel. Alleglor, nice of you to join us. As the boss has been waiting. He's in the back. Return to us. I thought this one had slain you when we made our move. What took you so long?
She did do a number on me, but I managed to patch myself up.
The cause cannot wait.
I would like to get a little payback for after what she did to me.
Very well, Alleglor. We need this one alive.
Andre, you dumb son of a bitch. It's been a long time. Pretend like I'm gonna throw up and do my chromatic acid spray out of my mouth.
Shit.
Electrolyte.
You? Little Raven? What are you doing here? So I imagine you never have left the nest, little Raven.
I'm just gonna run up and hug her.
How did you come to be in the employ of this group?
I was just hired for a job. They sent me here.
Who's they?
It's, the Night Sire are the people that I'm working for. You mean the man that hired me? That's just old Melrose.
I'm sorry. Did you say Melrose? I need you to tell me everything you know about Melrose.
I've been in pursuit, one might say, of Akron Highbolt. A long time ago, Akron had approached me in curiosity regarding what the Shard of Change might be.
I have to understand why you did it.
She ambushed us. My parents, on a mission for my father, were ambushed by a bunch of bandits. They didn't make it.
Teara isn't actually my sister. She is a member of a group of essentially secret soldiers